All right, go ahead and speak really quick.
Hi, I'm Casie.
Normally?
I am normally Casie.
Okay. Bring that down.
I am normally Casie.
Oh, there you go. Okay. You sound good. This is going to be the first episode of Reason to Believe. Hey, it's Brian Quain of Reason to Believe. I was recently diagnosed as neurodivergent, and I've been on a journey to understand what this means for me. In the process, I realized there's an opportunity to connect with others who share the same desire to learn more about being on the spectrum. So sit back and enjoy stories from my friends, my guests, myself, and the incredible journeys shared on these episodes. You'll hear about obstacles faced, victories achieved, struggles overcome, but most importantly, our passion for belonging and connection. We are wired differently, but thriving always. Reason to Believe is the reason we are proudly autistic. Now, welcome to the show. Hello, I am Brian Quain, and I am going to be introing this podcast in this episode here. And I really don't know how to explain it to anybody who just subscribed, is listening, and to get a better understanding of what this podcast is really going to be, because this is not going to be that. And I might give like maybe a little hint of it with somebody that's sitting next to me that has to see it every day. But the main question that is going to be asked by everybody, and this is the elevator pitch when we think about it, is what is reason to believe and why am I doing it? And having successful podcasts in the past for filmmakers, I did one so long ago. Oh my God, even before that, I had a Lost, the TV show, ABC's hit show Lost. I had a podcast for that. And then I did something with filmmakers that were looking to do better survival skills in the film festival circuit and things like that. Where does your film lie when it comes to, submitting to a festival, and then once you get in, what is it going to look like to, which festivals to attend, blah, blah, blah. Now, I had a successful podcast about Florida brewers and then some more of around the globe brewers, where I was talking to them based on a level of an artist, if you will. Musician or a filmmaker, something like that, to where it was completely, hey, yeah, sure, you make beer, but there's so many other elements to it. So what was your life like with mom, dad, high school, college, where you are now, music, film, and somewhere in the middle, they would promote the beer. That was their job. I was promoting them as a human and making it very easy for people to start enjoying a craft beer world. Now, that ended because of the pandemic, and 3 years later, maybe 3.5 years later, I'm sitting back down to do a podcast that is not about everybody else, and it is about me. But on this journey, I'm going to be focusing on people that are on the spectrum, so neurodivergent, adult ADHD, children ADHD on the spectrum, everybody and anybody that has insight, questions, but also want to hear stories. 100% this is going to be mostly storytelling from people that are on the spectrum and making it somewhat where we are going to get a better, not just understanding, but normalizing it to where sometimes maybe Hollywood or TV can exaggerate it a little bit, or maybe when we're watching shows like Love on the Spectrum or, documentaries, we're seeing where it's only a moment in their lives, and it's not when they wake up. It's not when they go to bed. It's not like things like that. It's, hey, can we take them speed dating, which I think is still awesome. Like Quain does a great job. Quain, you do a great job. Everybody on that show does a great job. And it does help normalize. We're seeing these guests that are going on that show, these subjects. So, kind of doing that here, but it's not about love. It's not just about that one particular passion. It is going to be mainly about their lives and where they are now. And there are going to be little things that you're going to hear in every episode. There's going to be the intro, the opening of each interview is going to be the same with everybody, because each one's going to be different. And then there's going to be this thing called true or false, where, again, I'm not going to allow my subject to say yes or no or true or false. They have to actually answer those questions based on a story that they have, where we get a better understanding. You're going to see a huge, wide variety of people that are on the spectrum, but also that are dealing with their mental health as well. And maybe they're not on the spectrum and they have a loved one that they're with or their kids, and hearing their stories as well. It is all about storytelling and understanding what people are going through in an everyday world that we're dealing with right now. And I don't think I need to actually at any point remind everybody what's going on right now, because you might be listening to this week, or you might be listening to this a year from now because someone suggested it, and I thank them for that. So whatever's going on right now, you could always use that story. And no matter if it was the 60s, the 80s, if it's, 2050, 50, you could still use it. So I have no idea how to really explain this in a way of why I'm going down this journey, but to kind of give you an insight is I was going to, you'll obviously by now, if you follow us on social media, you know who Casie is. I was going to Casey's in about the first week or two that we were dating, and she asked me, now I could laugh about it. She asked me, to tone down my tapping, repeating, and she goes, well, I think I've told this story so many times that I've probably done my own little telephone game of it. What was the question you asked me?
I don't actually remember the question that I asked you.
Opened this whole thing. It was that one question
I asked
that gets
if you
us
were
here.
on the spectrum.
Yeah. I thought it was something like, so how long have you known, or are you maybe you're on the spectrum or something like that. But yeah,
No,
you basically asked that.
Yeah, I think that I just asked if you were on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I think it was due to the repetitive
And what did I
things
do?
that you would say. I think that you were offended and you laughed it off.
I laughed it off completely.
But it wasn't meant to be offensive. There's
No.
absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just felt like if I knew, then we could better kind of not deal with things.
No,
Not
deal with
but
things.
I have anxiety. So the repetitiveness was something that then very much started making me feel anxious. So I was just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, well, I definitely laughed at it. I don't think I went home that night and was offended by it. I think I was just kind of like, okay, like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, does she even know what that is? But who was I to say? Because I didn't know what it was, even though I am it. So when Casie asked that question, we will now fast forward to a successful relationship. We're very good. We live together. We have 3 dogs, 40 cats. Okay, no, we don't. But, divide that by 8. We have 6 cats, 3 dogs. We have an amazing family of just love in the house. And I am on the spectrum, 100%. Been diagnosed, ASD. So there you go. I'm not giving you my baseball card of my stats. I do, to better understand ASD, also known as Asperger's, if you're not offended or if it's okay to say that. I do say it sometimes for people who go, wait, what is ASD? I'm like, we're going to normalize it. We're going to make you understand that, oh, okay, so that might be the same thing. Like, we'll hear that through stories again. But also ADHD and a lot of trauma. So the reason why I laughed at what Casie asked, or was kind of maybe mildly offended, is because, my upbringing and no, I am perfect, right? I've been trying to be that person for so long, and I don't care what my mom or sister called me when I was a kid, or like what happened through school where teachers even said this, or, doctors wanted to put me on Ritalin back in the 80s. It all stems down to where I am today. And everybody that I've spoken to in the last 6 to 8 months since I've been diagnosed, everybody that knows or they align perfectly with me too. So we had our own little Me Too thing going where it's like, okay, let's really think about what we're talking about here, and what do you got? What do I have? Da, da, da. It's kind of like, I can't say self-diagnose. You said it best earlier before I hit record, is that we're at a point now where I think, sure, we can get diagnosed if we want to, but there's so much information in this social media highway, and we're going like Autobahn fast, 100 miles per hour fast. So how do you see it as somebody neurotypical? How do you see this as self-diagnosis? Like, how can we do this?
I think there's just so much information out there. And, that is partly why I asked, because I think now with all of the social media, just all of the information out there, I think that it is easy to look at someone and go, hey, this is what's going on. Also, I think it's easy for someone who's experiencing it, for them to be able to say, this is how I feel. This is me masking. This is me not really feeling like I fit in. This is me being socially awkward in situations. So I think it's much easier for people to self-diagnose. I think that it's really beneficial for someone who's in a relationship, for someone neurotypical, and someone neurodiverse, because it makes both people feel like they're not alone.
Yeah.
It makes them feel like they are experiencing something very normal. I hate to use that word.
No,
but it does normalize it.
Look, we've been told that our whole lives, right? Be normal. There are those triggers of, can't you just be normal? Calm down, relax. Sorry. Like, really, at the end of the day, that is seriously like, you're going to meet so many different people on so many different levels, and you're going to realize, like, coming into my friends, Chef Shalom and Chef Victoria, when it comes to it, like asking them as vegans to eat this amazing pork chop that's going to be in front of them, No, there are things that we cannot do. We cannot do. So is it sustainable? Yes, we could self-diagnose and make it better. Like that pork chop will give them some sort of like, oh, here's some alternative, because I hate the word fake. Ugh, I hate that when it comes to fake meat, fake this. But I think it is an actual good, not saying the best analogy, but I think it is a good description, because we have to eat the same way I have to think. And it's something that I could, now, again, I'm not using the V word to say we're all vegan, this is what this podcast is going to be about. No, we're all different. These are stories, again. So, again, I want to just make sure everybody understands that you are going to learn a lot by how other people are handling it, and it's not somebody that you probably will have to go see a neurodivergent therapist, because I did not know that was something. And I've been very successfully, probably when this episode launches will be the 1-year anniversary. I've been seeing my neurodivergent therapist, Jolie. Jolie Spencer is amazing, and she has totally helped me come to a level where I am allowed to be still broken. I know they're going to be, Brian, you're not broken. Okay, you could say that, but I still feel it. And the same time, when Casie is able to sit into sessions and for us to help us communicate and understand. And Casie, what's it like sitting with Jolie with me, and how does that help you?
I think in the beginning it was really helpful, because we were having communication issues, because we're both thinking different ways. So it's been really amazing. Now I think you are her star therapy
She's going to listen to this.
person.
Stop. No, but I get
but
it. Yeah.
I do feel like she's very encouraging, and I do feel like I've never thought that you were broken in any way.
No, I know.
And that's something that you feel about yourself. And I think it's great to just hear her reinforce that. I think that me saying something doesn't have the same impact as someone who talks to people all of the time.
I mean, she's busy. She's not even taking new clients at all. So, yeah it's insane how busy she is.
She's great at
with how many people talks to.
Yeah. She's great at what she does. So I think it's really impactful when she tells you those things, that you're not broken, and she encourages you, and she helps you focus. The ADHD, the ASD, with both of those, that can be hard to kind of rein things in. But it's really nice to watch. It's really nice to see the creative process, and it's nice for us just to be able to talk about how we can support each other. Because we do think differently. Our brains work in different ways, and that is the great thing about this type of therapy, because I don't think we would get that in any other type of just neurotypical.
Yeah.
Because it's not meant for both people.
Yeah. No, I think that again, you're right. She has definitely done an amazing job. And for you to say like I'm one of those like star clients, right? I think, or patients, let's say. I think it's the fact that she really helped mold me to understand that this is where I'm going to be, and there's no going back. I mean, you've been going forward. There's no cure, obviously. So what are the better tools? How are you going to do this? And when the podcast came up, it was like, okay, because you're good at this. You're really good at this, Brian, so you should do this. And when came down to storytelling, okay, now you're going to have other people tell their stories. This is going to be really good. So I think that's why. I think she went, wow, you took what was ailing you, basically, and you're going to go completely mad, and you're going to now be this little ringleader that you're so used to being, right? In film, I was that way. When I worked at that technology company teaching, I was that, And so even in music, like when I'm being on tour without the drive-in, Jimmy World, like the Rye Coalition, it was one of those things like, all right, I have the video camera. I'm making sure we get to the, I'll drive if I need to, but I'll also make sure I'm going to check in with you guys can keep sleeping in the van. I'll check in with the venue and make sure that we load in at the right time. And we don't have to do sound check. Awesome. Let's go screw off and go eat somewhere. So I've always been that person. In Friends, where are we going, Brian? Where are we going? Where are we going? You have such good ideas. This. I think that's where my brain goes. I always have to go outside the box, and I've done that through film, music, TV, and the love that I have. Okay, I know I mentioned ABC's Lost, and I was alongside double digits of millions of people that watched that show, but man, did I go outside the box with that thing. So, yeah, I honestly feel, kind of to recap really quick, is that if you're not ready to get diagnosed and you have questions about where your brain goes, then yes, listen. Okay, awesome. Subscribe to the podcast, please. And also subscribe to our social media, which is Reason to Podcast. I know you're going to want me to say Reason to Believe, but there should be other things that come out of this podcast as well. So we have Reason to Podcast, so follow us there. Also, we talked about maybe going ahead and self-diagnose, following just not me, seeing the people that we follow maybe, or the people that we want to talk to. There are amazing people that I'm catching up with right now. My buddy Rich up in Knoxville, Tennessee, who has his own roasting going on for coffee. Rich will be on this podcast plenty, hopefully. I think he's amazing. But he's also bringing people our way, and that I'm meeting from all over the country. The beard enthusiast who's on the West Coast, started following, and I really can't wait to connect with him. And he's doing amazing things that's on the social media platforms. And then we also mentioned finding a neurodivergent therapist as well, if you can, somebody that you could talk to. Am I saying that right? Therapist, psychologist, like what is it?
I think she just goes by therapist.
Therapist, right?
She is a psychologist,
right?
I believe. Great, I'm probably wrong, but
find
therapist.
That what works for you. Yeah.
Just also maybe following some accounts or researching or reading a little bit to help you with some tools. I think that's such an important thing. It helped me, definitely, because then I can figure out kind of what's happening in just communication or a meltdown or anything like that. And those tools, those setting up rooms so that you can have different sensory experiences going on.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I think we'll do more of this, obviously. We're going to do more of this, of things that you feel people should do. Because honestly, at this point, I think you should be on this more often. Like, I'm not just having you on the intro. Like, this probably was did I ever dream of this? No, we sat down to a podcast room and I went, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to hit record. Let's just go. We did not script this at all, by the way, people. This is right off the cuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very nervous. I didn't know I was going to be talking.
She had no idea.
So I'm really not prepared at all. Sorry, I'm throwing in a lot of likes and ums.
So one thing I taught Casie, even before we ever met in person, is calm down on the likes and ums, not because I'm neurodivergent. I mean, I am. But it wasn't that we were going to have these conversations where I can't handle likes and ums. I actually met her because she has an amazing idea for a podcast, which we'll get into someday, really soon. So, and I also have allergies, and that was gross. So, I honestly feel that giving you some of these, I don't want to mention books. I'm not going to mention TV shows. I'm not going to mention podcasts right now because honestly, whenever you listen to this, you will get that information throughout maybe conversations where I'm like, oh, I already recorded the first episode. And in the first episode, here's a little spoiler. There is a book in the beginning talking to Coral, who is my first subject on the podcast that I'm going to launch. We talked about a book called Attached. And I kind of made a joke that I'm in a column A situation when it comes to relationships. And you'll hear what that means. And it's more of, yes, we're optimistic, but man, not optimistic that the other person that we're with is going to love me the way I should. And because I'm ugly or my brain goes here, or So hearing when we talk about books or things like that, those will come out. But follow us again on any platform because I will promote these books. There's a lot coming out and there's so much coming out. And I think this is a lot different than what other people are doing. A lot different than what other people are doing when it comes to, we're not going to be textbook. We're not going to give you, oh, did you know because you're doing this, it's because of this. We're not diagnosing you in that way. We're helping you listen to stories where it's like, that's what we're going through. We're living it. This is what it is. So no, I'm not looking to publish a book on like the 20 things to make you a better neurospicy. No. I mean, honestly, that's a thing. So no, these are like, again, stories where you're going to align, connect, and go, I'm not the only one. You're not. So I want to thank you for... I don't know. I guess I want to thank you in a few things. So really quick, I'm just going to do 3. I want to thank you for bringing up that question. Are you on the spectrum, or when did you find out? It was something like that. So how long have you been on the spectrum or something like that? It was something like where I was like, or I laughed at you.
Yes.
Thank you for patient, not patient. Thank you for being a human to when it comes to the journey it took to being diagnosed, finding out that I need to be diagnosed. But also thank you for being patient in the depression that I went through. Because people, you're going to hear about that. There was a night where I was like, no, this ain't going to happen anymore. It wasn't that I was broken. I was done. And I'm still here, and this is going to keep me going every day. And I want to thank you for sitting here now and saying, you know what, I'm going to take this time to actually talk about it to hopefully millions of people that will listen. So I'll let Casie say something because I'm getting emotional. I'm going to cry a little. And but I love you and I thank you.
I love you. This is exactly where I want to be. And it makes me so happy, so happy to see you creative and excited about something. And I love that so much. And that has come with Jolie and just us being able to communicate about things and recognize what's going on. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Well, thank you. Like, honestly, thank you. And thank you to every time now that I go out to eat and when I have to do a virtual menu on my phone, I have to ask for a physical menu. And I go, that's the way my brain works. Don't be afraid to say that, people. If you are on the spectrum, if you're spicy, divergent, if you are just also, if you need a menu, even if you're neurotypical and you need a menu, just say, screw it, I need a menu. But I'm okay to say, I'm so sorry, that's how my brain works. Your brain does work differently, so don't be afraid to say, well, that's how my brain works, because it is. That's exactly what happens. So that's me. I'm not afraid to say it. And honestly, it also opens up a conversation with so many people that I've said this with. I'm almost batting at like a 384. Okay, like honestly, if you don't know baseball terms, I'm going to the All-Stars when it comes to, I might not be taking my team to the World Series, maybe getting into the playoffs, because I want to meet these players that are going to get us to the World Series. That's my aim, is to meet so many people that are ready to talk about it. And it is happening over and over again. And the perfect explanation or perfect example.
Coral.
Coral. Exactly. And so how'd that happen?
I think whenever we go out, it is something very common now for you to say, oh, that's how my brain works. Oh, I can't be in all of this noise. Can we sit someplace quiet? Can we be someplace where the music isn't so loud? My brain it doesn't work well like this. And those are things that are very common. And you say it with the servers too when we are out at restaurants. And it's actually opened up, 3 or 4, I would say, friendships now.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
just the dialogue with people, regardless of where we're at. Someone's child is, on the spectrum. They have ADHD, a parent, them, friends growing up. Now people talking about how they've just recently been diagnosed and they're 40 years old.
Yeah.
So by you saying that and being vulnerable, and I think that's what everyone has to do, is just be vulnerable. It allows other people to share as well. And that's how the first interview started.
I originally had this idea for what? Speaking to my filmmaker friends, my musician friends, authors, things like that, right? I was going the route of like, let's talk to celebrities. Yeah. Using my Rolodex of who I have in my phone from the last 30 years of just doing. And that's the thing. I'm not starstruck. I've worked with so many amazing people. Look at the Academy Awards this last year, seeing somebody like Sean win those amount of awards, and to know that he is somebody I could talk to the next day, right? Getting a text message from him the next day after he won those awards. Sure, those people are going to hop on, but that's not. I love how you were able to take me off that and bring me onto a everybody level. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important because while all of us tend to look at celebrities or we look at people who have achieved what we think is success, right? The normal ideal of success. But I just feel that there's so much more to really, I guess, just connect with as far as someone that's at the restaurant that we always go to, someone that's overcome so many obstacles and they're doing so well. I think that we can just relate to those everyday people, and they're going to have so much more to actually help us and guide us just based off of the way they've lived their lives and what they've experienced. And, not everyone is going to be a director. Not everyone's going to be a famous chef. So seeing someone who works at a grocery store, seeing someone who's working at a restaurant or owns, I don't know, local businesses.
Yeah.
I just think that that's really something that we all can connect with.
Yeah. And so Casie did say it best with local businesses, right? Because that's where we tend to kind of connect with, right? It goes back to Sesame Street. Who are the people in your neighborhood? Great. That's who we talk to on an everyday basis, especially during the pandemic. We stayed home. And so then, we all started just kind of living in our bubble, and took us a while to get back and reconnect. So we actually had to shake the Etch-a-Sketch really bad and start to connect ourselves back with everyday lives. And we weren't flying out and going everywhere. Well, here, I am able to use my phone with my FaceTime audio quality HD that comes with it. And I will record not just conversations, but stories, if you will, too. So I'm going to find a way. Actually, I found a way where I'm going to let people also, tell their stories, and I will have a listener base where it's like not just who I'm sitting with, right? So we will have episodes where it's just someone telling a story and how they got through it, how they guided it, or even if they have questions. If you have a question where you're like, hey, da-da-da-da-da-da, I could actually probably play that question for somebody who's with me in the booth and just say, hey, this is the question. They could hear it, and then they can answer it right away. So we're opening this up to you as well. So don't actually think, oh, well, Brian has a whole guest list and it's reserved till the end of the year. No, I'm not. That's not what this is. I'm not, making a reservation list of all the guests I have. you can be a guest easily, and I will play it on here, and we'll talk. So a 3, 8, 10-minute little story you have, I'd be happy to share that. So this is going to be all for everybody, and I want to make sure everybody has a voice. And I want you to know that you as a listener, you as a subscriber, have a voice. I definitely want to thank Casie for a last time to say that I love you and thank you for jumping on the microphone, because I know you were nervous and you had no idea, where I was just like, oh, screw it. Let me just hit record and let's go. And I think this was actually very easy to do for me, and I hope it was for you. But at the same time, too, very informative. And when anything I missed, well, guess what? There's hundreds of episodes coming out. Not everything will ever be explained or offered out, but at the same time, you're going to get a lot out of this. Tons. So again, thank you for subscribing. Find us on the social medias, follow us, and any last thoughts? You got this, babe. Oh, I did the babe that they do in the podcast where people like, so my wife or my girlfriend or like da-da-da or my husband. And it's like, well, what do you think, babe? They all say babe. It's like just so you guys know we are together. It's like that code word of we're so good together, babe. It's like, oh, okay.
You could have called me something worse. So I'll take babe. I'll take it. No, I love being able to actually collaborate. I'm very awkward, though. So, yeah, this made me very nervous and anxious. But I'm really glad that I can sit here and talk about it. I do think so much positive has come out of just being diagnosed, and it's really helped our relationship. I think it's really helping you. And I'm so proud of you.
I love that. Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So, obviously, I like to talk. Wait, what song am I thinking of? Well, there you go. My ADHD just kicked in. Oh, Humpty Dance. And it's obvious I also like to write. No, I'm not going there. I'm not writing. I mean, I am. So, yeah, obviously, we like to talk. If you do, in time, you're listening to this and it's maybe 6-8 months down the road and you see me and you want to say, hey, I have a story or something like that, I will listen 100%. I'm never going to say, oh my God, I'm so busy. I can't. I am very awkward that way. I might get like, oh, wait, who are you? At the same time, I'm very approachable and I want to talk and I want to hear your story. So, yeah, at this point, I want to say thank you. I want to hear your thoughts. So the website, Reason to Podcast, is hopefully up by now when you listen. But also, we are not on Facebook. No, thank you. But Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You'll find us there. So if you have any questions at all, any insight at all, reasontopodcast@gmail.com. You could reach out to us there as well. That is it. By the way, I want to say thank you to our educational system. I want to say thank you to the Orange County, which is actually Florida. So even though you're thinking, wow, they're in California, we're still in Orlando, Florida. But Orange County and your library system for having a place like the Melrose Center that I'm able to record this for free and to use all of their amazing equipment. I just like to be in a place away from home and I could do something like this. But I also will be on site when it comes to people and interviews if I need to do video and stuff like that. So go ahead, take a look at any educational system you have in your county. And basically, I don't know when the last time you picked up a book was or listened to any kind of audiobooks, but get your free library card and use it and get all the free benefits that you can get in your local area. So thank you to the Melrose Center. I love you. That's to everybody. No, Casie, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I love you.
Okay, guys and ladies. I hate that. Ugh, I hate guys.
Y'all.
So, y'all. I know. Brian says y'all. I'm not from Texas. All right. Thank you all. And yeah, as I always would like to say, to quote Ice Cube, no, Snoop Dogg.
Don't quote Ice Cube.
Yeah, that's okay. What, today was a good day? To quote and squish. Oh, my God. I'm just going to go to the next episode. Bye.